Introduce some people real quick. To my left is our solicitor, Ken Fetterman, our stenographer, Cindy Oliveira, Director of L&I, Bob McTeague, and also Planning Supervisor, Bo Fleming. Mr. Secretary, can you call the board, please?
Sure. Gerard Lycon? Here. Colleen Dunn?
Here.
Jim McMahon?
Here.
Ed Murphy? Here.
Okay, let's get started. First on the agenda is Mary and Kevin Keenan, 151 Indian Creek Drive, Levittown, PA. Please come on up. Come on up. You got your mail-ins?
And proof of posting.
To this gentleman right here, please.
Okay. That's fine. Your posting's been verified, so that's not an issue.
Yeah, I have pictures of the posting.
No, I see it, it's right here.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, you're good. I'm gonna keep these though, okay?
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna keep these.
Okay,
Thank you.
I don't want them.
Neither do I really, but I have to keep them.
Okay, you can proceed with any kind of statement you have.
Well, I think the paperwork
But
speaks.
you're gonna have to speak into, you're gonna have to go to the podium and speak into the, yeah. So the stenographer, so the, oh, you gotta get sworn in first, too.
Red. Oh, now it's green.
There you go. Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Can you state your name, please?
Mary T. Keenan.
Thank you.
Okay, you can proceed with,
Oh,
any-
I'm just applying for, I have an existing fence, and it's falling down, and I'm just want to replace the existing fence, except for one side, I want to take it all the way to the curb because I have this detriment that was built next door to me, which is a two-car garage, which is on my front, which faces my front lawn. As you have pictures of that. I was never notified when that garage, as you see, had my neighbors sign papers of what I was doing, but the gentleman that lives next door, when he built that garage, he never gave me a paper to sign or notified me of his intent in any way, or else I would have objected to a two-car garage on my front lawn.
okay, I see it here, yeah. Bob, was there any zoning needed on this? Did it come in front of zoning, or no?
I would have to check on that, Jim. This is the first I'm hearing about it.
I also have pictures that my husband, who's ill, rode, that's why he's not here, rode around in the car and took pictures of other fences that are right up to the curb, the front of the property, that are 6 feet tall. I have those pictures here, if you care to see them, or did I give them to you already?
I don't see them up here, no.
Okay, oh, here they are. Would you like to see some of them?
Yeah, bring them on up. Yes, we have those
Yeah,
pictures.
he did get a permit for that. I don't know how he did, but he did. Oh, maybe you have them.
Yeah, we do have these pictures.
You do have them? Yeah, okay. That's pictures right in my same section.
Okay.
I guess that's really all I have to say, other than the process was very expensive. It cost, to get here, it cost me $1,100, which is a third of my monthly income. So that was a hardship also.
I don't see a need for a special exception, only a setback, unless you see something different.
Ken, I would agree to that, just the setback variance.
Okay, great.
Well, it's actually under the code 205-136. It's a height requirement in the fence code,
Yep,
so that's what you would need a
yeah,
variance for.
I got it.
So what's the height, what height do you want again? 6 foot?
6 foot.
Right. And you're not in the, like, you're not on the corner lot, he's on the corner lot, so it's not gonna interfere with traffic in any way. And you're bringing it all the way to,
To meet up with his 4-foot fence.
To the side.
Yeah, and he already signed an affidavit that that was okay with him.
all right, any questions from the board? From Ms. Keenan? Anybody from the audience for or against this project like to come up and speak? Okay, I need a motion from the board.
I would like to give a motion to accept it.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Call the board, Mr. Secretary.
Colleen Dunn,
Yes.
Jim McMahon,
Yes,
Gerard Lycon,
Yes.
Ed Murphy, yes. Good luck, young lady.
there you go.
So I got my permit?
You have to speak with the township after tomorrow and call up, right, Bob?
I have to come here tomorrow?
Correct, you could either phone call our office or come to the office tomorrow, and we'll issue the permit for you.
Do I need a paper permit to put on my window or something?
We'll give it to you tomorrow.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you. Good evening.
Thank you.
See you later.
Have a nice night.
Okay, next. Joe Goldie, 19 Chestnut Lane, Levittown, PA. Please come on up. Good, you hand him the mail-ins, please.
Please. Thank you. Is your property posted as well?
It is, yeah. Yeah, the one across the street is a rental, and that's a certified letter. We received the 4 intersecting, and then 2 additional neighbors as well.
You posted the property, meaning you put the...
Yeah, yeah, those I have here.
Okay, I see it. I see it in the window. It's fine.
Okay.
Yep.
You need the 2 additional signings? You want these
Please.
photos?
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You're good to go.
Okay, thank you.
Raise your right hand and proceed. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
State your name.
Good evening. Oh, Joe Goldie, Goldey. Good evening, everyone. My wife and I are here just to apply for a variance for side yard setback and impervious surface to construct a garage attached to the house and 2 bedrooms above the existing bedrooms in the back room. I do have a thumb drive, but it just shows simply the documents that I have here today. Nothing additional.
Okay.
We did meet with all the neighbors. The one it's going to affect directly had no problem with it. That's Jim Ruth's. He's been there 22 years.
So explain the addition to us a little bit, will you?
So we're going to do a garage attached to the house with a man door and a garage door in the driveway. And then over the back 2 bedrooms, there's going to be a staircase going up for 2 additional bedrooms and a bathroom.
Connected to the existing house.
It's all connected to the existing house, yeah.
Will the existing house go over, you're saying the existing house is gonna go over the garage, or it's not gonna go over the garage?
It will be, a portion of it will be, yes. Yeah. Yeah, so we're going across the A-frame. My A-frame sits with the street, if you will, and the A-frame will be across the back of it.
How much over your pervious surface are you gonna be, do you know?
Well, we're taking the shed down, so it's gonna balance out to where it's at. I think we're over 100 now, give or take. That I'm not positive of.
He's over around 400 square foot, so if he takes, what's the square footage? of the shed?
Yeah, the shed's 12 by 16, the shed.
That kinda doesn't really answer my question, Bob, to be honest with you. How much is, he's saying he's gonna be 100% over?
No. He's an R3, so it's a 40% impervious. He's probably gonna be around 45%, I would
Okay.
say. Yes.
So 5%.
5% over,
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Anybody else have any questions? for the Goldies. Okay. Anybody from the audience? I'm sorry, Bob. Anything to add?
No, Jim, nothing to add.
Anybody from the audience? For or against this project? Like to come up and speak? Okay. I need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I need a motion to approve, correct?
Yes.
I need a second to approve.
I'll second.
Call the board, Mr. Secretary, please.
Gerard Lycon.
Yes.
Jim McMahon.
Yes.
Colleen Dunn.
Yes.
Ed Murphy, yes. Good luck, guys.
Thank you very much.
All right. I'm cruising. All right, Jamie Parker, 3827 Groveland Avenue, Levittown, PA. Please come on up. Yeah, we need your mail-ins and postings. This gentleman right here.
It's okay. Okay, let's see. Just if you have them. Great, thank you. Okay, we're good on the mailings and posting.
Do you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
State your name, please, and spell it.
Jonathan Tomlinson, Jonathan Tomlinson. Is that green? Yes.
Okay, you can proceed.
We want a porch. So I built the porch already. I got in trouble for not having permits, so.
Oh, you're one of those. You're one of those.
One of them, yeah. I just want to be told it's okay to have
Okay,
it.
you can go to the back of the line.
Get the lash out.
All right. Okay, all right, so it's built already, obviously.
Mostly, I got stopped in the middle of it, so.
Okay. So you're looking for a setback?
Yes.
Front yard setback.
Please.
Let's not go, we're not a variance store up here, but, you know. So how much over is it?
We're 22 feet to the street. What were we supposed to be, 35, I think?
25, isn't it, Bob? Yeah,
So I'm 3 feet too short.
Right.
okay. So there's no way you could pull it back at this time?
I'd prefer not to, I could.
Right,
It would just be a lot of work to do that.
right. So you understand, we could tell you just
Oh, I
take it
know.
down, period, correct?
Yes.
Right. So here we go again. Jim McMahon's gonna be the bad guy here and tell everybody in the audience that you need a permit for everything. Please, because my feeling is, and I've said it before, this is a huge waste of our time. You know, we got 9 things on the agenda, and yeah, it might be only 3 minutes, 6 minutes, but it's something to, you know.
Yes.
Okay, I'm done. I jumped off my soapbox now. Go ahead, Colleen.
Bob, is it 35 or 25? From what I'm reading, it's 35 feet, and they're saying it's 25. Is it a rear or a front? On the page 1, it says it's a front, or page 2, it's a front
It's
yard
a
setback.
It's a front yard.
So it should be 35 feet, so they're really 13 feet over?
1 second.
It's about 30%.
Yeah, he's R1, so it is 35, correct. Yep.
So that's a whole different ballgame now.
Yeah, 13 feet.
All right. Anybody else have any questions for the Parkers?
If you were able to pull it back, how far back can you pull it back, even though it's gonna be an expense? How many feet?
I mean, the porch is 10 foot right now wide, so whatever it would have to be, I guess.
So,
So the whole porch is basically out of the
So from what it sounds like, my house is technically right on the line.
Yeah,
So,
seems that way.
so then the porch I took off should have not been there to begin with.
And how big was the porch you took off?
It was what, 6 foot out or something like that? The house was like falling down when we bought it, so we just were rebuilding it, and I said, let's go bigger when we do it.
So you're adding another 4 feet roughly.
So why the 10 feet? Why not 8 feet? Not, I mean, it's 2 foot, but I mean, I'm just curious, is it like,
No,
you're gonna
it's-
put, okay.
I just wanted to do it that way.
I
also-
guess
I
you
don't
don't
know
have
if-
pictures of how far along you are, right?
That's what the pictures I gave you are. Also, we're right on the creek, and it floods, like, I'm sorry, we're right on the creek, so like, the water comes up to our house. When it rains, you can't get to our front door without that porch being there. Like, you would have to go around our back door and into the back.
Because the yard fills with
Yeah,
water?
yep. It goes up like like, the pictures I took are just from the rain the other night that we didn't get that much of.
I just have drawings.
I just have drawings, I don't have pictures.
No, I handed the pictures to,
Okay, it's part of the, I see, sorry, it's part of the package, here, good. Just looking for the posting.
All right, so you're like, you're next to the creek, you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the driveway side floods or the porch
No.
side floods?
well, the porch is a wraparound, so.
Okay, so the back part?
The
and si-
opposite of the driveway side floods all the way to the driveway. So without that porch being raised up and where it's at, we wouldn't be able to get to it.
So you gotta understand, like, if we, you know, give you this variance, now we're opening it up for, you know, everybody that's done the same thing. as you.
So I'm in Newportville, and most of our neighbors are like 5 feet from the street.
Right.
So this is, like, it's kind of dumb to me that we're even doing this, because, like, I understand the 35-foot setback, but, I mean, they're probably grandfathered in, but they're so much closer to the road than I'm even asking for.
That's why you go through the permit process.
Yeah, well,
You know, so, I mean, listen, I understand it. You're not the only one that does it.
I get it.
The pipes in the ground, are they for your oil tank or sewer system?
That's the sewer.
Not that money's a hardship. And listen, I mean, 2 feet's 2 feet. I mean, we make a pull it back 8, it's not really gonna be that much of a difference.
How busy is your street?
It's not, we're on, the end of our street is a dead end, so. There's also like an abandoned farm across the street from us, like, we have one neighbor pretty much.
Oh, I'm good with it, yeah. Okay. So anybody have any questions for the Parkers? Do you, what's the pleasure of the board? Do you want them to pull it back 8 feet? I mean,
I got a question.
go ahead, Troy.
I drove by his house where he's doing it. It's on Groveland. It's very quiet street. Like you said, a lot of the houses are up close. It does sit back a little bit. He is down by a creek down there. Back behind it's an old beat-up farm with trailers and stuff back there. I'm correct on that, right?
It's in front of us, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he did get a permit, that's wrong. What he did is gonna look really good, it's gonna add to his house and to the neighborhood, definitely. I mean, it'll definitely wrap around, look beautiful.
All of our neighbors said that they like what I did because it was
Yeah,
falling
but, you know,
down.
the permit thing's the problem.
No,
we're
I
struggling
understand
with.
completely.
It'd be easier to come up with a variance saying you wanna build it with your permits, or with your paperwork. That's easier, but when you do it, it's like, ugh, that's a tough one. But I did say it will add value to the neighborhood and, you know, should've got a permit. You know, that's all I gotta say on that one.
Anybody else? Bob?
Nothing to add, Jim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody from the audience like to come up? Okay. I need the motion to approve or deny this application. It's the pleasure of the board.
I'll put a motion to approve it.
I need a second on the approval.
I'll second it.
Okay. Call the board.
Colleen Dunn.
Yes.
Jim McMahon.
No.
Gerard Lycon.
Yes.
Ed Murphy, yes.
Okay, there you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
You got it. Just so you know, write it down.
Oh, don't worry, I remember.
Prognostic.
Next on the agenda, Lori Falcone, One Good Lane, Levittown, PA. Please come on up.
Yeah, wonderful, thank you. Yep. Got the postings, got the mailings. We're good to go on the postings and mailings.
I do. Lori Falcone?
Okay, you can proceed. Thank you.
I'm here to request an exception for a backyard, rear yard setback, and also impervious surface. I've actually, as you can see from the pictures, already done a lot of improvement to my house. I put up a 2-car garage.
Could you get closer to the mic and speak up a little bit?
Okay. So my stepdad passed away in December, Christmas Eve actually, and I needed to go to Arkansas and pick up my mom and bring her home with me. So I now am responsible for her. She's disabled. So I thought I was done construction, and I was just moving to a backyard fence, but I have my mom in the back bedroom of the house behind the bathroom, and I would like to add on a 10 by 10 addition there so that I can provide a sitting room for her. I'm home now. I'm working at home, so I need the third bedroom as an office space. So I'm just adding on a sitting room, place for her to sew and things like that. I did apply for a permit, and I found out that the rear yard setback is, I have 26 feet. So when I go 10, I'll be 16 from the rear yard. And then impervious surface, I had an existing patio. Robert did some quick math for me on the phone. I had originally had my calculation wrong, but I'm 388 over right now, so the additional 10 by 10 would be 100 square feet.
So the addition, I mean, just so I hear from your voice, at no time is going to have a kitchen, or for your mother, it's not going to be separate? It's
No.
going to be, okay.
It's specifically for her. The window that's on the back of the house right now, I would take that out, create a doorway there for her to step through, and that area would be completely dedicated to her. That bedroom right now is 12 by 10, and she needs a bit more space, her own space, so that's really what I'm trying to achieve. I already have patio between the house and the garage, which is already in. You know, in order for me to go across between the house and the garage, I'd have to pull up that patio. On the pictures, I just wanted to point out, when you look to those, there is a fence line there. That is not my property line. My property line is another area out from that. So it looks like that chain link fence. The individual who owned the house before me put that chain link fence up, and it's not on the property line. There's another 10 feet or 12 feet there, but from where the addition is, it's 25 feet, 26 feet.
And how much did you say you were going to be over impervious again?
388.
Anybody have any questions for Ms. Falcone?
I have one. I see the utility poles in your yard, and they have their easements. Do you have any other easements in your yard that you're aware of by
No.
other utilities?
No. There is there's water there. The manhole's there on the neighbor's yard behind me. I already had that, approved by the water authority.
Do you have that
It's in the packet that you all received. That's okay. Oh, yeah. Err on the side of providing everything.
No separate entrance to this.
No, just through the bedroom.
All right. Bob, anything to add? Anybody from, I'm sorry, more questions from the board? Anybody from the audience like to come up for or against this project? Okay, I need a motion to approve or deny.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Call the board, Mr. Secretary.
Jim McMahon.
Yes.
Gerard Lycon.
Yes.
Colleen Dunn.
Yes.
Ed Murphy, yes. Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, here we go. Natwal Patel, 1001 Langs Avenue, Bristol, PA. Please come on up.
Thank you very much. How about posting? Do you have a picture of the property posted?
Yes.
You see that? Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, speak into the microphone, please.
Just me gonna speak, yes.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, please. Mehul, M-E-H-U-L, Patel, M-E-H-U-L, Patel.
Okay, go ahead, you can proceed.
Yeah, we are building the sunroom in the backyard where the driveway, we had an existing roof. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. Yes, sunroom, where we had existing roof before in the previous winter. It was fell down. So it was just a roof. We come up with the idea, which is the kids are growing and able to creating a little playroom area. So we are building the sunroom permit we are requesting.
So there's already a concrete pad there?
Yes,
Okay, so you don't need anything impervious?
no,
Okay. All right. Who's building the sunroom?
huh? I have
Is
the
there a
friend of mine.
contractor?
Yes, I have a friend of mine, he's gonna help me out.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Patel?
I have one question.
Sure.
So you're gonna build that addition, how are you gonna access it? From the house or from outside the house?
From the side, from the driveway.
From where the driveway is?
Yes.
Not from the house at all?
From the house, yes, there will be the door is gonna be still there.
Okay, thank you.
There is a back door already there, so it's gonna stay as is.
Anybody else? Bob, anything to add?
Nothing to add, Jim.
Okay, anybody from the audience? For or against? Like to come up and speak? I see none. Okay, I need a motion to approve or deny.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Call the board, Mr. Secretary.
Gerard Lycon.
Yes.
Jim McMahon.
Yes.
Colleen Dunn.
Yes.
Ed Murphy, yes. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, cruising right along here.
No.
D.R. Horton Incorporated, 2040 Briggs Road, Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Please come on up.
Yeah. Want to see if Nate Fox is out there?
Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. Nate Fox on behalf of D.R. Horton.
Nate, I briefed the board so they understand.
Great. Do you need the PowerPoint? I can explain
I
this.
think so. It's up to them, but
Yeah, just,
why don't you have your engineer explain why you're here?
Yeah.
okay, just for the board's knowledge here, DUR Horton's been in front of us. They're doing the Fayette Drive 55 and over project, am I correct? So they're back for impervious surface. They were already approved by the council. They were approved by us for zoning, but it was the overall project, correct, Bob? This is separate.
Correct, Jim, that was for the total impervious for the lot. These are for the individual lots.
Individual lots?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, so you may
Sure.
proceed.
Sure. Good.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Can you state your name and spell it, please?
CJ Bach, B-O-C-K. Again, yeah, as kind of alluded to, we're proposing this 88-unit senior living development. It's about 20.95 acres. We had come before the board here before and gotten some relief for impervious coverage as it related to the entire development, so including all 88 lots and our open space. I think the net result of that was about 40%, and we had gotten relief to do that. For whatever reason, we did not pick up on the fact that each individual lot would need similar relief on impervious coverage. To that end, here we are to revisit the board and request a clarifying variance as it relates to the individual lots themselves. The plan is identical to what we presented to the board before, in character, shape, intensity, everything. It is literally the same plan, same layout, same percent impervious as it relates to the overall tract. This is really just kind of now what is it on each lot? And again,
The sum of the parts equal the whole, as far as.
that is correct.
I'm sorry, Ken, can you say that again? Some of the parts?
The sum of the parts equal the whole. So the board approved the impervious variance before. It's the same percent approval as they approved before. Now they're just assigning it to each lot.
Correct.
It's an impervious allocation.
Nothing's changed. It's just one subsection in the ordinance we didn't ask for relief from.
Right,
The
got
amount's the same, the lots are the same, the layout's the same, the stormwater design's the same.
Everything.
Everything's the same. We're just back here to clean up.
So it's not an issue later, is what you're.
Not an issue later. And the township engineer issued a review letter for the land development plan, picked up the variance, so that we better go back and clean that up. So hence here we are. And we thank you for your time. We recognize you have a very full agenda, so thank you for considering.
Okay. You good?
Yes, sir.
Everybody good? All right, any questions from the board? Bob?
Nothing to add, Jim.
All right.
Yeah.
Audience, for or against, like to come up? Come on up, man, please.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do.
Can you state your name and spell it, please?
Pamela Hodgkinson.
Pamela,
Correct.
spell your last name.
Hodgkinson.
Thank you.
Thank you. Unfortunately, I wasn't aware the first time this came up, but I do live on the street that leads to the development. And I want to know, there's already flooding at the corner of where they're proposing their development. And along with the traffic impact, I want to know how it's going to impact the neighborhood. And are they exiting? People already use Old Orchard Lane as a pass-through. This is going to create a heck of a lot more people with 88 units. That's like 160 more cars. And even if it's elderly, you can't tell me if there's two people, there aren't going to be two vehicles. So there are a bunch of concerns I do have
Okay.
about this project.
You can address it. You have to go to the microphone, though, please.
May I first, Mike? Ms. Hodgkins? Hodgkins, here, I'll take, go ahead, you stay. If you'd like, Thursday night will be before council, and we're going to go through the township engineer's review letter and talk through all of those items, stormwater management, traffic. We'll have our traffic engineer there to talk through those things, and we'd be happy to discuss that at that point.
Okay, but what if I don't feel you're doing enough? This is the opportunity to have it either passed or not passed, is that correct?
No, this is only pertaining to zoning. So this is cleaning up a prior application that we.
About the impervious.
About the impervious, correct.
And impervious does mean that you're taking up where that water would be absorbed into the ground. So that does mean more flooding. So therefore, my concern still stands.
Understood. And we've had land development plans prepared, and the township engineer has reviewed those. That does take into account a significant improvement in stormwater management. We've looked at an existing line that was, and CJ, I don't want to step out of my lane, but correct me if I'm wrong, there's some things that need to be addressed in a large existing line. D.R. Horton is going to take care of that, make improvements to that line, as well as contain the stormwater created on the site in a better manner than the prior condition when it was in an elementary school.
Okay, and this meeting on Thursday that you're talking about?
Can you just come up to the microphone a little bit more?
I'm sorry, the meeting that's on Thursday, is that also an opportunity? Are you just going to tell me what you're doing, or do I have an opportunity?
You have the absolute right to come ask questions, tell the town council that what your position is, what your concerns are, and we'll have to answer you and talk through that.
Is that here?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's
Same place.
this Thursday, 7 o'clock?
That's correct.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I shall be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Anybody else? Okay. Motion from the board.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Call the board.
Gerard Lycon.
Yes.
Jim McMahon.
Yes.
Colleen Dunn.
Yes.
Ed Murphy, yes. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, up next. Denali Enterprises LLC, 38 Inwood Road, Levittown, PA. Please come on up.
Good evening, board members. Frank Dillon on behalf of the applicant, and Tom Panzer's here on behalf of adjoining property owner. I've met with Mr. Panzer before the meeting, and his client has questions and would like to review certain things before we proceed, and asked if we could meet with him and go over the plans and show him what we're doing and address certain issues. And I know there's some neighbors who I think are here in opposition to the application, and if, I'd offer them the opportunity also to meet with us before we make a presentation, if that is acceptable to the board.
I've got one mailing item. I don't know where the rest of them are. I presume you're going to present them?
What's that?
The notices.
The affidavit of service?
Yeah,
Yes.
the affidavit of service
I have.
and the posting. It's just one ended up on my desk. I don't know how.
Service and affidavit regarding posting.
Probably take that back if you want.
Mr. Dillon, do you have a thumb drive for a presentation?
Frank, are you asking for a continuance?
Yes.
Okay, good. I didn't know if you wanted us to bring on the other two cases and.
No, we need 30 days to meet with Mr. Panzer's client and any members of the public who would also, if they're interested, I'll
You after.
see me after the meeting, and I'll give them a layout, and then I'll have 30 days to work with Mr. Panzer and hopefully resolve issues before I come back before you.
Okay.
That's fine. You agree to waive the hearing requirement?
Yes.
right? Yeah. Okay.
How long are you looking for? A month? 30 days, right? you said?
Give us a month. If we need more time, I'll be in touch with Ken.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to reschedule it with zoning, with the zoning office?
Yes.
And they'll just reschedule it when you want.
Okay.
And if something changes from that, you'll get in touch with me.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, motion.
Yeah, sure, no. I need a motion from the board. What's your pleasure?
I'll make a motion to continue.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, call the board.
Gerard Lycon,
Yes.
Jim McMahon,
Sure.
Ed Murphy, yes. Colleen Doan?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Tom, it was too easy.
Not over yet.
Yes, sir. Come on, what can I do for you, sir?
We have about 25 neighbors here. We feel like we're giving a bad deal. Nobody told us about this. This is a wrong thing to do.
Well,
No, this is, no, go ahead, Ken. Explain.
no,
explain
it's a
away.
public hearing. Everyone got notice. That's the purpose of the notice.
That's why we're here for the
Right,
public
and
hearing.
they-
You're not hearing.
But they can they're allowed to make a request for a continuance. And if it's going to result in bettering the application, maybe perhaps withdrawing it or advancing it where there aren't 25 or 30 people objecting to it, it'll be more efficient for the board, and it may be better off for you because you may actually get something done. We can impose conditions, the board can impose conditions, but you're much better off talking to the applicant and seeing what you can work out first. It'll just be better for everyone concerned, and you're not prejudiced at all. You just come back when it's rescheduled.
Mr. Dillon will be in the back. Anybody from the neighborhood like to speak to him? He'd be more than happy to speak with you guys. And then, listen, yeah, real quick.
Just to be clear, Mr. Panzer, Attorney Panzer, you didn't have an objection to the continuance, correct?
No, thank you. No objections.
Okay, fine. You got it.
All right. Okay. We'll give them guys a few minutes to file out, and then we'll bring this back to some order. Listen, guys in the back, hello? Guys in the back, if you guys just go in the lobby, please. Thank you. Okay, next up is Iconic Motors LLC. Please come on up.
Thank you. Perfect. Thanks very much. We're good to go.
I'm gonna translate for her.
Let me swear you in as a translator. Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear that you will accurately translate the testimony given before this evening?
I do.
Ariel,
Tu nombre, tiene que decirlo completo. Tu nombre.
Virgilio Ariel Sedano Mendoza.
Deletréalo.
E-I-R. R.
V like Victor. I-R-G-I-L-I-O. Ariel. A-R-I-E-L. Sedano, C-E-D-A-N-O. Mendoza, M-E-N-D-O-Z-A.
Okay, you can proceed.
So basically I'm here because I try to have...
You would translate.
Okay, that's fine. So yo estoy aquí porque yo quiero tratar de conseguir la licencia.
I'm sorry, would you move closer to the mic and just speak slowly? Thank you.
So yo estoy aquí porque estoy tratando de conseguir una licencia para operar un dealership
So he's here. So he's here because he wants to get the license to operate a dealership. He doesn't want to have it physically, he just wants to obtain some of the benefits of having a dealership. For instance, rebuilding a title, buying cars from auctions, and that's it.
Y la placa de dealer.
Oh, and having a dealership license plate. The location they're at now is a auto body,
Y esta es una zona comercial.
and it's on a commercial building.
En el mismo edificio también tenemos lo mismo, un dealer operando con las mismas funciones.
In the same, like, the location where he's at, there is another body shop as well as a dealership.
So it's not your intention to sell cars off this lot
No.
or park cars on this lot?
Park, yes, but not sell.
Yo tengo 8 parqueos disponibles en la zona que son de mi propiedad, me pertenecen.
He has 8, right now he has 8 parking spots, but it's because of the auto body.
So él tiene la foto ahí.
Oh, you guys have the pictures he sent.
I think you need to be precise. So there's 8 parking spots on this property?
Correct.
There's parking spots in the back, is what you're saying, correct? Or no?
And it's the front.
Just the front?
Mm-hmm.
The body shop on this property is behind your property, correct, or no?
No, so he has a body shop, and then
Okay.
to the right, there's another body shop. I'm sorry, to the left.
Okay, so his body shop's not on this property,
On
412 State Road property.
No, eso es en la parte de atrás, es la 801C.
¿Cuál?
El mío, los dos. Uno está en la 801C y el otro está en la 801.
There's one on 801, and then there's el tuyo, ¿cuál es?
El C.
And his is C.
So ahí lo especifican los papeles.
What's the name of the body shop?
My body shop is Iconic Motor.
And what's the body shop next to you?
So it's a Steve Auto Collision Repair.
Say it again?
Steve.
Steve?
Steve, yes.
My buddy Steve or something?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
So you already have the body shop.
Yes.
Now, you're want to put a dealership in the front of the store, or?
He doesn't want like an actual dealership, like to sell cars. He just wants the benefits that dealerships have, like rebuilding a title, buying vehicles from an auction. He's not going to put an actual dealership.
So cuando nosotros movemos un carro,
Right, exactly.
cuando movemos un carro dentro de la propiedad, necesitamos una placa de dealer para poderlo moverlo.
I put in 412 State Road, and it comes up that.
So es toda la propiedad, es la 801C. So nosotros especifiquen los documentos ahí.
This is 412 State Road.
Let me go to explain, because I have the paper in the front.
This is the front of the building.
Exactly. My
Right.
shop is at the back.
Okay, that's the body shop.
Sorry. Yes, it's at the back. Inside the building, the complete. By Steve, exactly.
Okay, so you're not going to be.
No.
This is not going to be any part of your
No,
business.
not yet.
Just the existing garages you have.
Exactly. They have a picture here.
I gave him the picture.
Exactly. So, go ahead, you can explain. So this is my air park.
I'm sorry, this is my,
A. So we can park a car here.
He's just showing you like the lot where he parks the vehicles now.
So that's part of your property.
Exactly.
Existing.
It's 16. And I have 16 inside the garage, 8 more car.
Inside the garage, he has 8 more parking spots.
So we have Steve right here. So Steve has the same like me.
Does he have a dealer's license, Steve?
Exactly. So beside.
Que repita lo que tú estás diciendo.
We got the gist of that. You go there. Okay, so repeat Repeat for the stenographer what you just mentioned to us about Steve's.
So Steve have the same, le tiene los mismos beneficios que yo. So Steve me recomendó que lo utilizara, que adquiriera los mismos beneficios.
Okay, he's pretty much saying that Steve has pretty much what he's looking to do. And he spoke to Steve and he told him that he should take advantage of what he currently has.
So para yo mover un carro dentro cuando lo arreglo o algo, yo tengo que los carros vienen sin placa. So nosotros necesitamos una placa de dealer para poder prender los carros y moverlo adentro. So no tenemos seguro ni nada.
Okay, so he's pretty much saying that when a crash car comes to the auto shop, they need a dealership license plates in order to move the vehicle. And right now they don't have that, so that's why he wants to.
Okay, so when a car's in an accident, you can't go pick it up without these dealership tags, is what you're saying?
Correct.
You'd have to go to a dealer and get them to get involved. So you're looking to vertically, I call it integration. You're looking to integrate your business.
Yeah, or pretty much he has to pay for a tow to bring it. So he just wants to avoid having to pay for the
So
tow.
you have your own tow truck?
I'm sorry?
He has his own tow truck to go pick these cars up, or
No, he has to pay, like someone else, like a tow trucking company, so they can transport the vehicles.
Go ahead, Gerard.
The dealer tag is to buy and sell cars. You go to the auction and buy and sell the cars with the dealer tag. If you're looking to transport cars, it's called an RT tag, repair and towing. That's what you use to jockey cars around. Like, for instance, if you have a car with no insurance, no tags, use an RT tag. That's what gets you to deliver cars, pick them up. If you're looking to fix cars and you want to buy smashed up cars or damaged cars or whatever from the auction, then you need a dealer tag just to buy them so you can fix them up. So are you looking to buy the cars to fix up the sell, or are you looking to transport cars?
¿Tú estabas buscando para comprar los carros de la subasta o tú estás buscando para transportar los carros de un lugar a otro?
No, para comprarlo en la subasta.
He's looking to buy it on the in the auction.
Okay, then you're going to need a dealer tag to do that, not the RT.
Que tú vas a necesitar dealer tag para poder hacer eso.
No solamente la placa, la que da ¿cómo se llama eso? La placa de transportación. Transportation plate.
Yeah, he's saying he would need the transportation plates.
That would be an RT tag
¿Qué
to
sucede?
transport them. A dealer would be the transport and buy and sell. But if you're looking just to transport, you get an RT tag.
Yeah, he said he's looking to buy, sell, and transport.
Okay, then that would be a dealer tag.
Right, he wants to do both.
So Jim, just to clarify. it
Yeah, you
seems-
were just saying that you need them to transport cars, that's why you needed it. Well, that's an RT tag.
Yeah, Bob.
It seems as it's a step in the process for him to get authorized as a dealer, to get the dealer tag through the state process, so he needs a form from the township to get approval. But just so the board's aware, he's only got 8 parking spots in that lot. So if he fills them with 8 used cars, he's not gonna have any parking spots for the employees at
Right,
that.
right.
So maybe a condition for no car sales and just the.
Well, that would
authorization.
definitely be a condition.
That's the only thing that, for me, is the issue here, is the selling of the cars on the property. I
He
mean,
doesn't want to sell cars on the property.
okay. Well,
But if you buy them at the auction, how are you going to sell them?
He transports them. I mean, imports them, sorry. He imports them.
where is he gonna store them at when he buys them?
He doesn't buy like bulk. He buys, as he buys them, he imports them, and that's when he buys more. Like, he doesn't bulk buy, like, let's say 20 cars at the same time.
When you say import, what does that mean?
Import, like, to Dominican Republic, a different country.
Export.
Oh, export, sorry.
Got it, that's why, okay, no problem.
So he buys the cars, fixes them up, and sends them to the Dominican, or he just buys them, boom, right there. Listen, not for nothing, I don't know, if you buy these cars and you decide you want to put 8 of them on your lot, nobody's really policing this unless, maybe Bob is riding, like, we don't know that you're not going to, I'm not saying you're a liar, but that you're not going to put these cars on that lot and then you have no place for your employees to park or whatever.
So you understand, if the board would grant this with the condition that you do not sell any cars off that lot related to that dealer license, and you did do that, you could be subject to fines and penalties. Make sure he understands
Que
that.
dice que ellos quieren que tú entiendas que si ellos te aprueban esto y tú vendes un carro en la propiedad, te pueden dar multa. Que eso ellos te lo probarían, pero solo sería para tú tener como los beneficios, pero no para tú venderlo físicamente.
Explícale a ellos que la ley de Pensilvania exige que los carros tienen que estar rebuilt. Solo yo no estoy haciendo rebuild tiro, yo estoy comprando los carros, reparándolos, importándolos. Para poder venderlos tengo que flipear los títulos y eso no lo puedo hacer, no se está haciendo.
Yeah, he's saying he understands, and he also just wants to note that the state of Philadelphia doesn't allow him to sell any vehicle without rebuilding the title, and because he doesn't have access, there's no way for him to sell the vehicle.
Okay.
So you're telling me this is kind of, is this a hardship for you? I don't, is that what he's saying?
Yeah, he's saying it's.
Okay, but it's an economic hardship, so, I mean, really, as far as zoning goes, that really doesn't apply to this, because it's money, it's not really a hardship. We don't consider it a hardship, am I correct? Economically?
Right.
Okay, I'm just stating the facts. Right. Well, if there's a better way of saying it, please,
Yes, please.
proceed.
I think he can get around the issue by paying money. But I think he's at a point in time in his business where he can't really advance his business
Okay,
due to a technicality in the law that he has to have this particular license to do what he wants to do.
Right.
In order to get that license, unfortunately, he leased a place where technically it's not allowed. So it's not quite a no hardship case, but you have to look for it.
Bob, what's your feelings on the condition? I mean, you heard what, I mean, just your,
From a code enforcement standpoint, Jim, we see lots like this all the time to where they're importing the cars to the lot. He's fixing them up. They sit in that lot for 60, 90 days, and it becomes a nightmare for us.
right.
Sometimes they put them for sale, sometimes they sit there, like I said. So he only has 8 parking spots. There's, I think, 5 bays in that parking lot that are all separate uses.
Right.
So if he fills them 8 cars with cars for sales, then there's no spots for employees. What's gonna?
So you're trying to tell the board as a practical matter?
No.
Can't run into the same issue that you have issues with because he only has.
No, I
8
was just
spots?
explaining my
Okay,
point, Ken.
gotcha.
If he fills his cars with 8 spots, then he has no parking spots for
No,
employees.
I'm with you. I just want to understand it, that's all.
How many employees do you have?
We are 3 now at the moment. So we come from to New Jersey. So 2 of them, me and my other partner, come in my car, and the other guy live in town.
I can. Sorry, so it's 3 of them. They all come from New Jersey. 2 of them carpool, and then the other one comes in his own car.
Yeah, well, again, I mean, that's pretty hypothetical. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean you're all gonna come in the same car every day, but, so Gerard, you're basically the, kind of the expert on this, being, what,
Cars are gonna be sitting, that's gonna be a problem. You have 8 parking spots, 3 employees are gonna be using, you have 5.
Son 8 y 4.
Exacto,
I
hay
know it's
4
gonna be a
parqueos más que
parking
están
nightmare,
determinados en la
'cause you're gonna be
foto.
waiting for parts for cars.
Y un parqueo
He's
para
gonna
mí no
have
es válido.
to move cars, he's got to work on quick cars to make money while he's waiting for parts. This is gonna be a parking nightmare, I think.
Well, it's right in the neighborhood.
Well, it's not a neighborhood problem, where it's at, I don't think it's.
no, it's, I mean, Steve,
Okay,
okay, well,
yep, we can hear that.
Chip,
go ahead, Bob.
as you know, the address is 412 State Road, but it abuts it fronts 4th
Fourth
Avenue
Avenue,
in the
right.
residential neighborhood. So if he's gonna be exporting vehicles, then them car carriers gotta come down 4th Avenue and hopefully pull into that small type parking spot, which is most likely not gonna happen, so.
And most of the cars are coming on rollbacks. If they're wrecked, they're coming from the salvage.
Okay, anybody else?
Ellos quedan todavía 4 parqueos más disponibles.
He said that there's 8 vehicles, and then, 8 parking spots, and then there's 4 in the front.
So
And they're in the picture.
para mí no es válido.
In front of the base?
I'm sorry?
In front of the base?
Right off of State Road?
No, it's on the same lot,
On the front of the building.
the front of the building.
So it'll be in front of the garage doors.
Delante de la puerta de, no, I think it's on the side, ¿verdad?
Exacto, so tiene 4 designs. Plus los 8 parqueos que caben dentro, los 4 vehículos que caben dentro del taller.
Okay, any question, I'm trying to, you know. Yeah,
¿Cuál sería
let's,
la diferencia de
I mean, let's be honest, I know what the neighbor's gonna say, but yeah, we're gonna get to yours in a minute. Okay, anybody else, any questions, more questions from the board? Because I don't,
Sí, sí.
is there, I'm just trying to, is there any condition we can put on this thing or not? It doesn't seem, my personal opinion, that we can, but if anybody has any ideas, feel free to speak up and help me out or help me along with this thing, but. Okay,
Oh, sorry, he has one last thing. He's just saying that, Steve has those benefits, so like, what would be the difference of him not having it if Steve already has them?
Well, one, we don't know what happened with Steve, like, we're not privy to that, so we really can't tie that into it.
well,
'cause we don't
honestly,
have that information.
in her defense, in his defense, Steve did come in front of us for zoning. What I recall, I don't recall exactly what variances he came for. I'm not 100% sure it was exactly for this same thing.
Okay.
So, here's what I'm gonna suggest, and you guys decide what you wanna do, okay? I would ask right now, it was me personally, because I mean, again, read the room. I would ask for continuance. Do your homework on what Steve asked for and what he got, and come back in a month or so, whatever you want, and present that to the board as you just stated now. Because we're not positive right now what Steve did, okay?
And it may pay to get an attorney that does this work, zoning attorney.
Okay? That's what you want to do. I mean, we go forward with this and make a motion and, you know.
Once the board decides, your only choice is to appeal. So if you take a continuance as suggested, it gives you a chance to further research it and bring back more information to the board, and perhaps you'll get an outcome you would like to see.
Okay.
Perhaps. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay? So you're fine with that?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's fine.
Okay.
Bob, any objection?
No objection, Ken.
Okay, I need a motion from the board for a continuance.
Motion to continue it.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Call the board, please.
Colleen Dunn,
No.
Jim McMahon,
Yes.
Gerard Lycon,
Yes.
Ed Murphy, yes.
Okay. Sure, come on. Come on up.
Are we creating a record? I'm gonna keep all this. If you need them back, you can look me up and I'll send them to you, but I need them for now. I don't know if we should make any kind of record here. Well, you can. It's not gonna matter.
Okay, we're gonna take into consideration your concerns, but as of right now, this is, you know,
It's continued.
it's continued till next month.
So we come back next month.
That's correct.
That would be the
When
best
it's
way.
relisted.
Yes, when it's released. Okay?
Will we get notice just like before?
Or when's the next hearing then?
It's October.
He does have to post it like he did the last time.
So here's the condition of it. You do have to re-send out the notices in post, okay? Whenever you decide to come back. Because there are people here now that would like to testify. Rather than open up the record, it's probably better off to hear it all at once. But you have to re-notice, because I don't know if you're coming back next month, 2 months, whatever. But we'll continue it so that you don't have to pay another application fee.
And he'll have to notify you.
Right.
Just like he did the first time.
Right.
Okay.
Should be October 10th.
All right, thank you.
Because we're worried about the parking on the street, that's what.
No, we understand.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, American Dream Realty Services Corporation, 7998 New Falls Road, Levittown, PA. Please come on up.
Good evening. Mr. Bryce, thank you. Thank you very much. Council has handed up the affidavit of service and postings.
Go for it.
All right, good evening, Board. Bryce McGuigan from Begley Carlin here on behalf of the applicant, American Dream Realty. Thank you so much for being with us tonight and allowing us to present before you this evening. Like I said, I represent American Dream Realty. They are the owner of 7998 New Falls Road. The parcel is approximately 0.3 acres and is currently improved by an existing 1,121 square foot structure. As I'm sure that the board's aware, this is a unique property right on the corner between New Falls Road and Levittown Parkway. The property is zoned within the C Commercial District and is unique because it's a peculiar triangular shaped lot that again fronts each of those major roadways. The result is that the existing structure, despite its small size, is completely non-conforming on all three sides. Generally speaking, when you apply the required buffer yards, required setbacks, including the special setbacks, you cannot expand this structure at all. And in fact, if it weren't there, you couldn't really build anything. So this peculiar little building is home to American Dream Realty, which is a local real estate company. And as I'm sure, from personal experience, I know it's also home to that sign that has the joke of the day on it, which I always get a chance to look at when I drive by. Since my client purchased the property almost 10 years ago, the business has grown substantially, and now we're in need to expand the existing structure. In light of our need to expand and the zoning issues which we're going to get into today through both myself and Mr. Brian Binney, who is our surveyor tonight, we decided to try to expand in a way that will minimize our requested zoning relief. So instead of expanding outward, we're attempting to expand upward by building a second story on the existing structure. The additional space will be used solely for our business. We are not leasing it out to anyone else. It's just our business is growing, so we would like to try to grow our office to match the business. As I'm sure the board can understand, 1,100 square feet, give or take, is not an overly large space for any company. And American Dream Realty is already expanding beyond that. We have 2 full-time employees who cannot work in the building. They must work remotely because we literally don't have the space. There's also 2 employees sitting at a crowded reception desk because, again, there really is no space. As part of our plan, the overall footprint of the building will only slightly increase. The main increase is going to be to the rear of the structure, which will house the stairwell that goes upstairs. Apart from that, we're literally going about 8 inches in one direction and about a foot and an inch and a half in the other direction. And as you'll also see based on the renderings that I'm going to get into, a lot of that's just meant to help the building look more residential and like a home in nature. There's not only are we just building a second story, but we're actually, a lot's going into the facade of the structure to make this look nice. The relief that we're here for tonight, every single variance that we're asking for is a result of an existing non-conforming element of the lot. In fact, every variance is either maintaining an existing nonconformity or only minimally increasing it. These specifically include rear yard setback, which is going from 22.3 feet, apologies, to 16.6, where 35 feet is otherwise required. A special setback from New Falls Road of 15.8 feet, where 16.6 is existing. Same with special setback from Levittown Parkway, 25 feet, where 26.1 is existing. And then we're also asking to continue some existing nonconformities, which is to not provide buffer yards to both roadways, along with the residential area to the rear, not provide additional lighting, which again, we actually think is a benefit. I don't think the residences to the rear would want additional lighting, and that intersection is already pretty well lit as is. A variance to allow for an increase of a non-conforming structure by more than 50% volume. Candidly, we're adding a second floor, so it seems like that's 50%, which is the request. And last, to allow for an increase of a non-conforming structure that does not already comply with existing dimensional requirements. As we said, this structure, it's tough to imagine a more non-conforming structure due to all the special setbacks and buffer yards and whatnot. Again, while there are technically a number of variances that we're requesting tonight, this is, I would submit, a perfect example of a property owner needing what amounts to a reasonable adjustment of the zoning ordinance in order to use their property. Here, again, we have, like I mentioned, Brian Binney, who is our surveyor on the project from Anderson Engineering. I also have with me two representatives from American Dream Realty, Mr. Jonathan Geffman and Jeffrey Lister, to provide some testimony. I know it's a little late. If the board would like to hear from them, I'll be more than happy to present my witnesses, or I can kind of go through some of the plans myself.
Well, we can revisit it. I mean, go through your plans, and if we need to speak to them, we could swear them in.
Sounds good.
As need be. Is that all right with the board?
All right, perfect.
Yeah, you'll just ask them to adopt
Be more than happy to.
rendition.
All right, so if we can right here, this is the existing structure here. Let me see if this, perfect, it finally works. All right, so the road I'm pointing to now is New Falls Road. This road on the other side, the top right of the property, is Levittown Parkway. Each of these roadways has a special setback that accompanies the roadway of, I believe it's 100 feet. Yes, 100 feet from the center line here. So when that's applied to the property, it's literally unbuildable. To the rear, you have Holly Hill, a neighborhood here in Levittown. These are storage containers that are currently on the property. And this right here that I'm outlining is the 1,100 square foot building that's there now. One story, very small building, but again, it's non-conforming in both sides along with the rear of the property. Bob, can we go to the next slide? All right, so this is the great change you see here. There's really not much of a difference. The only thing you really see on the plan is this one storage container will go, and here in purple is going to be the additional to the rear, which is going to have an enclosed staircase. That's the only means of access to the second floor. If that staircase is internal in the property, that takes care of a large chunk of the inside of the property. You lose one office downstairs, you lose one office upstairs. Additionally, in purple, you see on the front, there's a couple little indentations on the front and on the corner. Those will be, as you'll see from the next slide when we get to it, just again, minor awnings and a slight protrusion of the second story. Like I said, with this, it's not only just a functional increase and to add that second story to add double the space, but it's also going to look much better. It's going to try to blend a little bit into the residential portions right behind. The reason why we need this, just for some additional detail here, like I said, American Dream Realty, it's been there since 2013. While this construction is going on, we plan to continue operations. We plan to continue staying open, and we're going to do our best. There are 5 employees who work full-time on the property. There's 2 who zoom in or just work remotely. The building, as configured, has a few offices downstairs. You have a small conference room, and you have a little kitchenette that would be akin to a dorm sort of kitchen with a small mini refrigerator and a microwave. Not exactly the best for healthy eating. So the goal is when we build the second story, going to add some additional workable space, going to add a more functional conference room and a more functional kitchen so that employees can actually take their lunch in and maybe make a little something. We're also, like I said, going to be able to expand some workspace so that the employees who are there actually have space to work. Right now, one of the issues is you have 2 employees sitting at the reception desk. So if one person's trying to work with the client while the other's trying to do an actual reception sort of duty, it's really difficult to make that work and maintain a professional environment. So with the additional change, we're going to be obviously no height concerns or anything like that. No variances requested there. It's not going to be nearly as large of a presence as the TD Bank or the Walgreens across the way. And like I said, this is going to be a massive increase in benefit to this business while only minimally offering changes from a zoning perspective. To get into those zoning changes, I mentioned them briefly. All the variances we're asking for, every single one relates to an existing nonconformity, and they fall into 2 categories. Variances that we are going to be maintaining, and we're maintaining a condition that exists now, and there's some variances where we're going to be mildly increasing an existing nonconformity. So let's go through the variances regarding the conditions we will be maintaining. The first is buffering. So the way the ordinance reads is we have to provide buffering from each roadway, from both New Falls Road and Levittown Parkway, along with buffering from the residential properties to the rear. There is, I think this is 98, 99% impervious right now. Not a whole lot of greenery on this lot, and we're not changing the impervious whatsoever. I would submit there's not really much of a need to buffer New Falls Road, and there's equally little need to buffer New Falls Road Levittown Parkway, and we can't do that too. This is obviously a large intersection. I would also submit that adding additional trees would probably be a sightline concern. So really no reason to do that, and it would interfere with parking. It would be a nightmare. So that's some of the reasons why we would prefer, why we were asking for this variance and why it's required in this case for us to move forward. The additional lighting that we would second group here is we're requesting a variance not to provide additional lighting on site. Again, we're maintaining what's there now, and I would submit there is no practical reason for this, being as this intersection is already very well lit, and we don't want to disturb any of the neighbors to the rear, so why would we put more lights on the property? The additional variances that we need, like I said, they're all just minorly increasing existing nonconformities, and these relate to the 3 separate setbacks. The smallest, or the most dramatic here, is to the rear, where we're only asking for an additional 5 feet and change. And the reason for that is solely this internal stairwell. That's it. And if we put that on the rear, or on the side, or on the front, wherever, we're intruding on a setback. So the way we look at it is this is the least offensive place to put it. And again, it's not really going to change anything as far as neighbors are concerned. And if you're looking at it from the roadway, you won't even know it's there. With respect to the front, again, from, I believe, let me get the numbers right here. I don't want to make a mistake. So with respect to New Falls Road, we are asking for a total of 15.8, where 16.6 is there. That's less than a foot. So we're going less than a foot further into New Falls, and we're going 1.1 feet, so about a foot and an inch and change closer to the Levittown Parkway. That's about as de minimis as you can imagine. And like I said, part of the reason why, and you know, obviously Mr. Geffman or Brian will come up and explain this, part of the reason why when we designed this as we did is to minimize the relief we would need. You know, I know there's a number of variances here, but we're really trying to minimize it. And this is really, it's going to double the utility of this property with only a foot here, a couple inches there. This is really the best case scenario as far as we can tell. And Bob, can you go to the last slide for me? Thanks. And this here up top, you can see this is what we plan on making it look like from the front. This is going to be a significant change to what's there now. What we're really trying to do is to not only make this more useful, but to make this just a really gorgeous looking building in a spot where right now it's kind of a bit of a little Frankenstein structure. You know, it's a small building. It wasn't really designed, you know, it was kind of already there. We made some changes to it. But now what we're trying to do is make this some sort of a cohesive structure that will be a functional business, but that's also going to look good, and that'll be a nice advertising feature for American Dream Realty too. We are a small local real estate company, so we want people to pass our office and say, hey, that's a nice building, that's a nice company, and somebody we don't mind doing business with. So at the end of the day, Like I said, we are asking for quite a few variances, but I would submit that this is the minimum relief that is required in this case, and it would provide a massive benefit to my client with minimal zoning implications. So with that, I'd like to invite Jonathan Geffman to come on up.
Hi. Sure.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Can you spell your last name, please?
It's Geffman. It's G-E-F like Frank, T like Tom, M-A-N.
Jonathan, please introduce yourself to the board for me.
Hi, I'm president of American Dream. I'm also the broker for the brokerage portion of our company. In terms of the building, just a small correction. We acquired ownership to the building in 2013. We started out as a tenant in 2011. My understanding of the history of the building, our seller, their parents, I believe, had a green thumb and had aspirations of making that. They lived in Holly Hill. They acquired the property from Levitt and made it into a farm stand. Fast forward years later, the farm stand became a building, and the family leased out the building to a variety of different users, none of which were successful. I think there was a music store, there was a hairdresser, there may have been some other intervening business there. No one really was successful. We were lucky enough to get the building and be successful there where we've grown the building. As far as employees, originally it was just my partner Jeff, myself, and one worker who worked there part-time. Today we have many employees, but between growing the business and also COVID, some people left the building, and we'd love to have them come back, but as we've grown, we have literally no place to put them. So that's why we're here.
Thank you for that, Jonathan. Now, that's going to dovetail into a question I have in a minute. Were you sitting here, were you able to hear everything I said to the board?
Yes.
Were you able to understand everything I said?
Yes.
Apart from the correction you just made, were you agreeable to everything I said?
Yes.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Only that, we tried very hard in working with the architect to try to design the most efficient building that we could, knowing what our uses are and what the limitations are of the lot. And we couldn't come up with a better design than what we've come up with in terms of functionality, utility, and again, our building is kind of odd looking. It's very long and incredibly narrow. It also has practically a flat roof. And as we drive around, Jeff and I, we look at a lot of other developments and have come up cosmetically with what we think would be really attractive for our corner. And so I think that the plan is to go above and beyond what might be necessary so that cosmetically we have a fantastic corner.
Now, are you willing to adopt my statements to this board as your testimony here tonight?
I am.
And one question, if this is approved and you're able to make those changes, does the joke of the day stay or does it go?
It stays.
Okay, good. If the board has any questions for Mr. Geffman, we'll be more than happy to answer those.
Any questions? Okay, thank you.
All right, perfect, thanks. Brian, could you?
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
All right. Brian, what do you do? Where do you work?
I am a professional land surveyor. I'm one of the principals of Anderson Engineering Associates at Sellersville, Pennsylvania. Even though I live in Levittown, I work in Sellersville.
Ugh, that's a bad decision. If the board would like, I'll be more than happy to go through Mr. Binney's credentials. Otherwise, I'd like to
It's
submit.
not necessary. Does he have a CV with him by any chance?
I did not.
No CV, but
Just send it to me.
more than happy to do so. Thanks, Ken. All right. Brian, were you able to listen to everything I told the board?
I did.
You understand everything I said?
I did.
You agree with everything?
I do.
Anything you want to correct?
No, sir.
Would you be willing to adopt my statements to the board as your testimony here this evening?
I will.
Perfect. I don't have anything further.
Why don't you just briefly state what his expertise is in particular to this project? And
Sure.
what opinions he may express.
So, Brian, the plans that we went through tonight, that I went through, are you aware of those plans?
I am.
Were you involved in the design of those plans?
I was.
And in fact, did you put together this flash drive here that Bob has tonight?
I did.
All right. Anything that you'd like to point out specifically regarding the property or the relief that we're requesting?
As you stated before, the situation where the special setbacks from New Falls Road and the rear setback from Holly Hill, the setbacks overlap, so really there is zero building envelope on this lot whatsoever. Building envelope on this lot whatsoever.
And would it be your testimony that this is the minimum relief that would be necessary to make reasonable use of this property as Mr. Geffman and Mr. Lister require for their business?
I would agree.
All right. Thank you very much.
Anybody have any questions?
It might not pertain to Brian, but how many employees total are going to be there on a daily basis, and is there enough parking spots for them?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Jonathan, why don't you come on up?
Maybe I can answer that.
Oh, all right.
So according to the calculations set forth in the zoning ordinance, with the addition, there's a requirement for us to have, there's a requirement for us to have 11 spaces, and we're providing 15 right now currently. Now, it's unusual parking lot. It's not laid out as a traditional parking lot, but that's due to the size and shape of the property.
And generally speaking, for this, as far as the employees are concerned, right now we have 5 who work on-site permanently every day. There's 2 others that do not work on-site because of the limitations. The goal is to, with this project, to bring those 2 back into the office to make 7 employees, and we would be considering adding an 8th employee as well. So as of right now, potentially 8, but as Mr. Binney said, there's room for more.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks, Bryce. Anybody else have any questions? Bob, anything to add?
Nothing to add, Jim.
Done? All done. Okay. All right. Anybody from the audience like to come up? Okay. I need a motion from the board for or against this.
I'll put a motion out to pass it.
I'll second.
Call the board, please.
Gerard Lycon.
Yes.
Colleen Dunn.
Yes.
Jim McMahon.
Yes.
Ed Murphy, yes.
Thank you
Okay,
very much.
thanks, everybody. Most important motion I need, motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it.